Hello, this is Julie. Connie posted that she'd like to know how to make this mouth on this snowman using the Cricut Design Space or Inkscape. Well, I use Make the Cut, and I thought it would be fun to give this a try. So if you have Make the Cut software, you might like to try it too. The process may be very similar in Inkscape, but I'll leave that to the Inkscape experts to show you how to do that. Meanwhile, you could just capture this face with a screen capture utility and trace and make the cut, but then you'd be taking somebody else's design. How much more fun would it be just to do your own thing? So I'll show you how to do that and make the cut. This was the trace that I got from a partial trace, just to get an idea. And the one on the right is the one that I made using the Make the Cut tools. Now the nice thing about using the tools and making your own is that you can make it however you want it to be. So let's get started. In Make the Cut, we have a pencil tool here on the left. If you don't see the left toolbar, click on this figure 8 icon in the upper left corner, and that opens up the node editing toolbar. Now if you click on the pencil, another toolbar opens at the top of the screen, and with settings set to fat path and setting your width to be as wide as you want. I chose 7 millimeters because it's the closest to the thickness in the image that we were looking at of the snowman. I left the defaults as solid, but I changed the line cap to round to make the end rounded, end cap also round. And then I clicked on super smooth. Now the reason I do that is I'm not very good drawing with my trackball. Now if you're really good with it, you could just click on force close. Well, you could unclick super smooth, and that would allow you to choose one of the smoothing and precision options here. The more you have these sliders to the right, there's a difference in control, but I'm just going to show you super smooth because I found that to be pretty easy. Now I've got I'm going to left click to start the mouth, and while I draw it, I'm just going to kind of look at what this other person did, and I'll never make it exactly the same, but can give me an idea of a wiggly smile. So I'm going to left click and drag, and then drag it down a little and a little bit up, and come up in a curly Q. And that's okay, it's kind of ugly. I'm going to click on the top arrow and hit my delete key, and we'll try it again. And you can try again and again and again to see what you come up with. Again, I'm just going to go around and down, and then come up kind of in a curly Q, and that would work. But I'll try it again. I tried it quite a few times before I came up with this one over here on the right. I think if I move my mouse a little bit faster, I might get a better design. Again, I'm going to start at the top of the mouth. Oops, I got to hit the pencil first. Top of the mouth, around and down, and then around. And that one's okay. So you could also draw a straight line, then thicken it up a bit. If you don't like the way it looks, delete it and try again. So I'm going to click on the arrow, just assuming that I want to keep it that way. And then to make the nose, what I did was grab a triangle. I type in TR here and then grab this isosceles triangle, and I'll turn it on its side by clicking on the rotate 90 degree tool. Then I can just drag out that nose as far as I want. I can make it as tall or as short as I want. And I can make the edges kind of rounded. If I go to the shadow layer, I used a 0.2, and you notice I selected corner join rounded. It turned the sharp points into rounded edges, and then I'll just click on accept. So I can get rid of the triangle here and just use this one. Now the edges are kind of straight, and you know, notice that this carrot shape over here is not quite so perfect. Well, you can click to get these distortion handles to kind of make it a little bit different. Drag any of these pluses around. If you click again, you get the sizing arrows, and you can get the rotating angle arrows by clicking on it again. So now what I can do is I can take my second arrow from the left toolbar, and I can kind of push out some of these lines to make them less perfect, you know, look more like a rugged carrot. And you can kind of play with this to make it look the way you want. Now to get these little bumps in here, you can use the same tool and double click to add some nodes along the way. And I'll show you what to do with those. You just double click a few times, and we can do the same thing on the bottom. Just double click here and there. And now, since I double clicked, I have little smaller segments that I can just bump up a little bit to get the bumpy feel of a carrot. And you can move these pieces as much as you like. If you want, you can double click again and just get the feel of a more natural feel of a carrot. And I can do the same thing on this bottom side. So bending the lines a little bit, I make it look less like a triangle and more like a carrot. You can continue to do that however you want. I think I'll do the end, double click that, and maybe make that end piece a little more rugged looking. Now I can click the top arrow, select that nose or carrot, click on the smaller, the two green plus icons to send that shape to its own layer and change the color. So now I have a nose and I have a mouth. To make the eyes, I again click on basic shapes. I'll type in CI to get the circle, double click the circle, close out of that. I'm going to just drag that circle where I want it to be and hold Control and Shift and drag so I can get another. Well, they're a little bit small, but I can select them both and change the size by using the straight arrow on the corner. And then I can select them both again, holding Shift, and then Control and Shift and drag. I've got some more circles. I'm going to make these really small to get the pupil of the eye there. And I'll click away so that I can select it. Now you could put these dots where you'd like for the pupils of the eyes. Then select both and then click on Join at the bottom. And then you can see that pupil in the eye, and there we have it. You can position these, you can cut them out as they are, you can resize if you want. If you'd like to have the eyes less perfect, you can always go to the distortion handles and give them a little more oddball shape if you like. Now what I'm going to do is select all by dragging around it or clicking this little arrow down here, and I'm going to go to File, Export, Selection to SVG File, and type in Snowman face 1 and my initials so I know that I made this. This is my own design, and since I made it, I can use it as I like. And then if I want, I can go into this Design Space and sign in. Click on Design Space and account and sign in. Then once I'm signed in, I can create a new project and go to upload images, and this SVG file is a vector file, so I'm going to upload a vector and browse to my desktop where I save that Snowman file. Snowman face 1, open, and there's my face. I'll save this. Then I'm able to click on it and insert the image, and now I can select all and bring it down a little bit, and I'm able to cut this to my Explorer. Now if I wanted to, I can change the colors, but they work fine for me like this. I hope you have fun with these drawing tools. I'd like to see what you do with them. Bye for now.